I really appreciate that you came to the session. My name is Charlles Pinon. I'm a product manager at Liferay. I take care of 3 of our products: Forms, Workflow, and some portion of the Analytics Cloud related to analytics about interactions. Tomorrow, we will have a session about analytics, and I can explain better about it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Forms, Workflow, Assets, Digital Operations, and that's the main theme for this session. So sometimes when we take pictures, we just surface some tiny parts of the experiences that we are having. But actually, what really brings into perspective is that these experiences are much bigger than what we want to surface. So that happens with our customers. There's a line of interaction that separates what customers see and what they don't see. But actually that affects the level of service that our business are handling to them. So what they see, what they interact, are the actual digital experiences that Liferay with Liferay DXP helps you to build and surface to them. But there's a big line of opportunity inside business operations, and that's what I would like to pitch you about by using Forms and Workflow to digitalize business operations. This is a study that McKinsey did, and it says that in every industry, customers' digital expectations are increasing, both directly for digital products and services and indirectly for velocity, accuracy, productivity, and convenience that digital makes possible. So bridging together digital experiences and digital operations, that's what I want to talk to you about increasing velocity, accuracy, productivity, and convenience to service customers with better customer experiences. So in this session, we are going over 3 stages. First stage is what's new in Liferay Forms for 7.1. We are going over through a brief demonstration of the capabilities that I'm talking about in Forms 7.1, and then to the roadmap presentation about Forms plus Workflow for the next versions of Liferay. So let's go over first the new capabilities that we have in 7.1. I like to tease our customers always asking, why are we talking always about forms? It's simple. Forms are everywhere. Forms are a good way to communicate with customers. Since from you're applying to a mortgage or to a loan application, or as you are a bank institution or a governmental agency and you want to surface and want to gather information from your citizens or projects that you're running in your organization, or even when you're booking a ticket to fly and spend your vacations. Forms are essential, but good forms, they are complex to build. If you decide to build a form by your own, you have to deal with a myriad of complexity, like supporting multi-language translations, multi-platform support, field types, validation, external data integration into your forms, entry management, versioning, structuring to facilitate the easy to build and surface forms to business operations. Actually, we are making it easy with out-of-the-box features. Forms is providing all these features together with something else. The point that I would like to highlight for 7.1, it's the biggest point, is that good forms have relevant questions. We are talking about personalizing the experience when people are filling out forms, because we believe that relevant questions, they attract customers' interests, and they don't abandon forms, and that's something that we want to avoid, forms abandonment. So we're taking down personalization to reduce the chances of abandonment in forms. And we did with one philosophy. We both wanted to deliver a tool that would be easy for IT departments to customize, extend to business needs, but at the same time, non-technical users and business users could use this tool in a low-code approach to deliver forms in a fast way. we implemented a set of 6 rules in forms to make forms more dynamic. Which are these rules? Required is one of them. So when a user fills up one certain item in your form, another field in that form becomes required automatically, depending on the answer that that person is filling up in the previous question. You can enable or disable fields. You can autofill, retrieving data from external data providers and just uploading them into your forms. You can show or you can hide fields. You can jump to pages, and you can perform calculations using our forms. So these are the set of features that we have for 7.1 that are already in the release that we did this year. So we have 6 packs of features related to rules. It's important to say that all these rules, they are customized. You can use our API to extend and implement new rules. And we have all the support to multi-language. We have new field types. We have a new structure in forms with drag and drop to make it easy for business users to use forms. We have custom validation using regex. And we have data, external data integration. We had a concept of field library, which is you can use elements, you can build up these elements and make it available for your entire organization. So for instance, you have configured payment options and you just want your organization to reuse these fields. They don't have to do it from scratch. They go to the library, they just import these elements into their form and they reuse that element. We have entry management with exportation, more exportation possibilities, and we are versioning in the back end all the forms. But the good thing is we were able for 7.1 to implement a new SDK for forms and a new screenlet. So when you're building your applications using forms, you can actually use continued experience. And what is that? For logged users, when they are filling up a form using the laptop, when they change the context to a new platform, be it an iPad or a mobile phone, they can continue filling up that form from the point that they stopped. So I'm going to demonstrate some of these capabilities for you. Let's, for instance, take an example of insurance quote for a car. I just simple login as a user. And I start filling up my form. I put my personal data, my name, my email, and I choose what is my gender, driver's license number, and here's what I would call your attention to. Sorry. Let me try to speed up. So when the person is filling up the old, we know that certain ages, they represent some higher risks for insurance business. So what I would like to highlight here is we set up a condition in this form for people who are among 18 years old to 21 years old. We require them to add an extra piece of information in their form to say if they are married or if they are single or if they are, if they have lost someone in their partner, because that can correlate that level of risk of that person to the way they drive and the way that we are insuring that. So if the person has 18 years old to 21 years old, we show in the forms application a new field. That's what I'm demonstrating here. So the person would have to fill up with the marital status. For someone that is above 21 years old, the field is not shown. What I would like to demonstrate here is I'm changing context. Imagine that that person started filling up that form in a laptop and is running away from the job, getting out of the job and going into an Uber and wants to start that application from the point that that person started in a mobile context. So we are going to change the context and going over mobile. The person opens up the application in their mobile phone, logs into that application, so what is expected is, when I log into my application, I would like first to be notified if I have already filled up that form in a previous platform. That's what happens. And the application asks, do you want to continue? And the second one expectation is, bring all the information to my front end. So all the information is being retrieved from the backend system and displayed in the form. So next rule that I'm going to demonstrate for you is what we call autofill. So forms, depending on what the user is inputting in the front end in the form, we retrieve some data from the back end and inputs in the form. Here I'm using the classic use case for zip code and address. So when the user starts to fill up that form, put in the zip code, we will have the state and the city being retrieved automatically from my back-end system. So this is natively out of the box that Forms is now providing in 7.12. So we start, we continue filling up the form, and then we move forward with it. It's not only for zip code. In here, we have some questions in relation to the car year, to the car maker, and all these can be tables that I have in backend, and I just call these services and I retrieve all this data from the backend to the front end form. So I'm selecting my type of car. I have a Jaguar. Hope I would have in reality. I can select the model, and when I see the model, all the models that I have here are related to that car maker. So if I selected Toyota or Chevrolet or GM, etc., I would retrieve the models from those makers. One new thing that we are also introducing with Forms in 7.1 is a new field type called attachment. We didn't have attachments until 7.0. Now in 7.1, we have attachments available in Forms. So that integration with mobile actually helps someone to do more than just attach a file. That person can use mobile to take a picture and submit that picture already from their mobile device seamlessly. So they don't have to handle that in a way that is too complicated. So once the person submits that form, all the things go to our back end and are saved in like, for example, files in the Documents and Media folder. So let me show you how this is working when we are talking about building a form. So let's go over the features that we have. And here I have my insurance form. I talked about translation. We are supporting all the languages that Liferay supports right now. We changed the way that people interact with the forms, with a sidebar, and people can actually drag and drop fields. So that's very easy for someone in the business area that would like to interact with forms in a more seamless way. So one of the things that we implemented was making it easy to change fields. For example, I have a paragraph field here, but I made a mistake. This is actually a single selection field. I can just change, and all the things that is inputted, it's just there in the interface. So this was a win that we have for 7.1 in Forms. So I can easily duplicate that field, copy it. I can just erase that field. So we are making the business owner life much easier with Forms in 7.1. You can unpublish, you can save the form, you can easily from the application access where this form is being displayed. And I talked about rules. So how rules is managed in forms. So the syntax of building a rule is very simple. If a condition is matched, please do an action. That's the way we are building a condition. I have two conditions here. The one that is pulling out the zip code and retrieving data from my back-end systems. I'm pulling that from data providers. And the other one that I just demonstrated to you in relation to the date, to the age that the person that is filling up that form. Okay, so let's move over to the future of our products. What's coming next for forms and workflow? So, we will look for evolving form-based applications. We received a lot of feedbacks from customers that our APIs should be more robust. We want to, at 7.2, deliver more robust documented APIs. We want to allow users to reuse fields, unify data storage, and use forms as fragments in pages. That now we have that concept for pages in Liferay, we want to enable you to use forms as fragments in pages. And view forms entries in a seamless way to help you build customer profiles. On the other hand, we have workflow. Forms is the front-end facing application that you can build easily and deploy. And workflow is the orchestrator. After you have some requests being inputted in a form, how can you transition that request through different departments, different people, assigning different tasks. So we are going to allocate a lot of effort to improve Kaleo, to improve the workflow capabilities that we have in Liferay DXP. So let's go into details of each one of these features. In relation to the Forms API, one thing that we received from customers is, hey, Liferay, I don't want to learn about all your APIs to be able to retrieve forms in different applications. I just want to use their IDs and streamline forms through these different applications. We are implementing a tag lib that will allow you to do that. That tag lib is already done for 7.0, and we are backporting it to 7.1 to allow you to just retrieve a form and use it in different applications. Other thing that we are also implementing is the storage adapter API. Liferay, I don't want to save all my forms data inside your database. I want to export it, not export it, or just save it in another third-party system. That can be done using our storage adapter API. You can save all the data that you're collecting in forms in third-party systems. Reuse fields in a form. We have heard from customers that they want the foundation to unify customer data into a single place. So field mapping will allow you to do that. That will be easy in the future to unify all customer data into one single place. You can choose to save it inside Liferay or in any other third-party systems. As I said, use forms as fragments to help you quickly integrate forms with call to actions for your landing pages. And it's not just importing form in a landing page, but there is actually work on editing, adding, and personalizing that form while you're building that page. This is a special use case for marketing users that are building landing pages and applications in their business. That will help us to centralize all the information, and from that information, select which fields I want to compound and build a customer profile. That will make it more easier to build these profiles. So let's talk about workflow for 7.2. We want to improve our workflow designer. Our customers have given us a lot of feedbacks that our application right now should be more useful, should be more friendly user, more easy to use. So we want to offer you a new application that will help you to quickly model lightweight business processes digitally And in addition to that, how can you manage all the tasks and all the instances? How you are assigning to people tasks and reviewing those request applications, assign or reassign those tasks to different people. We want to improve that in Kaleo. We also want to lay off the foundation for this, which is very interesting. We want to offer you meaningful analytics about your processes. How many SLAs have I breached in my company? Who were the team who was responsible for those breached SLAs? Should I invest in training for these people? Are they new in the company? Information that will help you to organize and understand how your processes are running and what is the health of your processes inside your organization. And in addition to that, we are changing the way we deploy business applications. We want to build a single location where you will access and start new business requests, new business application processes requests. So tomorrow, I'll be talking about Analytics Cloud, and there is one point in Analytics Cloud that talks directly to forms abandonment. So in Analytics Cloud, I will demonstrate in a use case how can we measure and how can Analytics Cloud be able to understand people who are abandoning your form, and in which point of your form they abandoned. So this is the kind of information that we want to complement from what we have from building those forms until we analyze the information from the interactions that people are keeping with it. I really appreciate your time to come here and listen to the new capabilities in forms. Please rate my session, help me improve the way I'm presenting all this information to you. I really appreciate your feedback. I'm available for talks after this session. Thank you.